From its sprawling vistas to its hidden depths, Elden Ring doesn't just invite exploration, it challenges your expectations at every turn. But what if I told you the most unforgettable moments in Elden Ring come from the times it breaks the rules you think you know? Let's uncover how Fromsoftware's world design keeps you questioning everything you see and everything you don't. Minute 1 of Elden Ring drops you in an abandoned chapel. With a sword in hand, a mysterious dead woman by your side, and only one path forward to your inevitable death. Death has always been the staple of Miyazaki's games, and it's no different in the lands between. You will struggle, and even if you hold your own in the face of defeat, whether you die to the tutorial boss or fall off the cliff behind it, all paths lead to Limgrave. And as you lift open the steel door, you're overcome with a feeling I, nor any first-time player, can ever forget. From the daunting Stormvale castle flanking your left, overhanging the vast ocean, to the enormous glowing Erdtree seemingly miles away, casting a golden light upon every inch of your surroundings. To your right, golden trees and green fields look endless in this new land. A bloodied masked man awaits your arrival, and just behind him, you could even see a gold-clad horseman patrolling the pathway up to the nearest church. Every single instrument of your entrance symphony are playing in harmony. What happened to this world? What kind of people live in this land? Why am I here after just mere moments ago, dying in a faraway place? And just who is this man greeting me? These are all questions that will ping around your brain after walking through that door, and this is the essence of Elden Ring. The only way to find the answer to your questions is to begin your journey into the lands between, and discover those answers for yourself, one step at a time. Once you begin collecting map fragments, leveling up, and exploring, it's easy to fall into the trap believing you've seen and done so much already. 25 hours into the game, and it honestly may seem like a disappointment to Souls veterans. No structured and interconnected level design like Dark Souls, no sharp and intentional combat like Sekiro, and no overwhelming atmosphere like you'd find in Bloodborne. So what's the catch? But then you climb an inconspicuous watchtower in the far corner of the Weeping Peninsula. You dispose of the soldiers guarding it, and go up to claim your treasure. Maybe a new sword, or a talisman, or maybe even a spell or memory stone to give you the edge you need on whatever boss is next in your path. And then you see it. You open the chest and enter a loading screen, and everything you thought you knew is obsolete in the sheer beauty of what lies before you. You are far, far away, and without even noticing it, your heart rate has spiked just enough to leave you thoughtless and bewildered. You are now at the foot of the Erdtree. Its golden rays shine brighter than you've ever seen. You turn around and see golden towers piercing the skies, yet still so insignificant in the light of your Erdtree. Then, yet another surprise, the petrified corpse of a dragon resting upon the city. How could it be so big? How did it die? Why is it even here? Your mind begins racing even more, and finally you open your map, and every single complaint you once had fades away, along with every expectation for the successor of your beloved Dark Souls. This world is not only bigger than you thought in every single direction, the scale and glory of this city that you cannot yet access but can only see from your perch, knowing that one day you will return, sends shivers down your spine. This is the moment where it all clicked for me. This is the moment when I realized that Elden Ring is different. It's not The Witcher 3, it's not Skyrim, and it's not Dragon's Dogma. It's barely even Dark Souls. It's the new blueprint for open world RPGs. We all know that moment in games like these. Your first time leaving the vault in Fallout 3, leaving the Helgen tunnels in Skyrim, visiting Novigrad in The Witcher 3. These holy shit walkout moments that leave gamers nostalgic to this day. The Leyndell reveal has all of them beat. Not only from the recency bias or lack of love for those older entries, but because it rewires how you even perceive Elden Ring. It changes everything, and it gives you a clear goal. Get to the city at all costs and find the answers you seek. This instance is the first of many times Elden Ring shatters your expectations and gives you more than you could ever ask for. The ride up to the cliff overlooking Liurnia being another favorite of mine, and the infamous elevator ride down to the depths of Siofra being as iconic as ever. Every time you progress past a tough challenge, you're rewarded with not only runes, weapons, or armor, but a feeling that cannot be replicated with any tangible item. The feeling of accomplishment, the feeling of turning over a new leaf, not knowing what could await you on the other side, but you're more than eager to take the leap and find out, no matter what. You really can, and inadvertently will, go absolutely anywhere your heart desires. The horizon is the only thing giving you direction in this world. Other than the rare streams of gold emitting from your sights of grace, what you see is what you get. Everything here you could visit if you so please. Unlike contemporary games, there's no real artifice in the lands between. Any borders you see will be cleverly disguised as interesting terrain that fits the world nonetheless. Take Mount Gelmir as a perfect example. This optional area consists of one main attraction, a titanic volcano tall enough to stab the clouds with jagged rocks and ruined forts piercing the heavens above. This area is truly quite limited, being a linear trek from foot to summit, yet the variance in experience is paramount. This whole mass of stone is really just one disguised legacy dungeon, masquerading as an entire new map zone. You'll be met with geysers, castles, magma worms, fire priests, bears, demi-humans, and the like. You'll pass through Leyndell soldiers, still fighting their endless crusade to siege down the mysterious manor in the center of the Inferno. Up and up you go, through decades of turmoil, war, and death, ruined battlements, festering corpses, and utter devastation scattered upon every new elevation. After the trials and tribulations of scaling the behemoth they call Gelmir, you finally reach the real source of your intrigue, the Volcano Manor. None of this is forced upon you. None of this is really even simple to stumble upon. The entire mountain is seemingly just tucked away as cool set dressing for most of your journey. You're hinted at by a few NPCs that much more lies within if you take the challenge, but Elden Ring forces nothing upon you. The world lives and breathes without your input, and you just might find yourself in the belly of the beast without having known it. The level design oozes atmosphere and mood on your ascent, and it's really just a preamble to set the tone for what's to come. And what is to come? Well, the Volcano Manor itself, home of the Recusants, a band of not-so-wholesome knights and assassins whose sole mission is to murder other Tarnished like yourself. You kill your targets, progress the story, travel to faraway lands, get sucked into a dozen new caves and mines, make your way to the mountaintops of the giants, and wait. What were you doing again? Oh, yes, returning with your final target slain, you now should be able to enter the real Volcano Manor. And after talking to Tanith one last time, she sent you to a boss fight. You enter the arena and where's the manor? Where is all of this? This legacy dungeon with unique enemies, bosses, talismans, weapons, lore, and NPCs. It's all completely hidden behind an invisible wall? In an empty room? With nothing to point you towards it? Aside from an off comment from Raya, you would have no indication of anything being here at all. And that's the magic. Another moment where Elden Ring flips you on your head, questioning if you really understand it at all. Dark Souls sure had its fair share of illusory walls, obscure areas, and esoteric quests, but so far, you haven't seen anything like this in Elden Ring. This entire prison town, hidden in the center of a volcano you just spent hours climbing and conquering, is completely hidden. And I know that most of my friends on their first playthrough didn't see it at all. Once you find this, you start wondering, what else did I miss? How many more walls are there? Am I losing my mind? Fromsoftware handcrafted all of this, which ends in a fantastic boss fight, whether you did the quest or not, and they didn't care if you missed it. Most games wouldn't allow you to just ignore hours and hours of handcrafted content filled to the brim with lore and enemies. But Elden Ring's world is different. And if you didn't think they could top hiding such a massive dungeon behind an inconspicuous wall, then I have some tough news to break, because that's only the tip of the iceberg. Without getting too caught up in the weeds to prove just how incredibly dense and unprecedented this world is, I just want to give you an explanation of my favorite core memory from my first ever playthrough. And it might not be what you think. It's not the first steps into Limgrave, or the teleport to Leyndell, or accidentally finding the hidden entrance to Volcano Manor. It's actually so convoluted to Souls newcomers that my one friend was laughing at how ridiculous the process sounds. But the payoff is worth almost the price of admission. And that is my journey to Elphael, Brace of the Haligtree. After so much time spent within Elden Ring's world, you're most likely to stumble upon two very key areas. The way the world is crafted gives you subtle nods on where there might be something new or interesting. On your journey through Liurnia of the Lakes, it's almost guaranteed you'll come across the village of the Albinorics, a horrifying, Bloodborne-esque slum tucked away in a massive cave. The light fades as you ascend up, fearing what could be around every corner. Bodies swing, fires roar, and you have no clue what happened here and why. After slaying a few remaining assailants and trying to dodge attacks, you accidentally roll into a ceramic jar, which for the first time doesn't shatter. An old man, disguised as a jar, hiding from the attack upon his people. They were looking for this, the secret Haligtree medallion. But only half. You take his half and promise to keep it safe, and he vanishes. Now what? You don't have any direction, so you continue your game. You fight your way all the way through to the mountaintops of the giants, searching through every cave, finding every mini-boss and looting every chest. Until the sound of a towering mausoleum, unbeknownst to you, leads to your destination. Tucked away on a cliffside rests Castle Sol. Here you fight lions and banished knights and some of the most difficult late-game enemies Elden Ring could throw at you. Though it's a generally short little linear trek to the citadel of the castle, what lies at the end is a tough foe. Commander Nile, flag in hand, flanked by two banished knights, are now on the attack. You take out the two and are left in a 1v1 with the commander himself. After your inevitable triumph, at the top of the castle rests your final medallion piece. All of this is natural and organic, and without guides and a keen eye for exploration, every Elden Ring player can absolutely make it here. Using your prior knowledge of the decked and rolled medallion, you know it's for an elevator, so you try them. You travel back, and with a quick tap of the D-pad, the text on your screen shocks you once again. Hoist secret medallion. A descent begins, and welcome to the consecrated snowfields. A large portion of your map has remained blank for the entire game so far, which is really the only indicator that there's even more to see. Just that slight tease that FromSoft gives you is the exact type of thing that this video is about. It's all about breadcrumbs, a pointed world and level design, to trick your brain into doing exactly what they want you to, without pop-ups or quest markers. The consecrated snowfields are not the best. Where half the area is mostly empty and the other half is Dark Souls 2 PTSD, it feels a bit last minute. Okay, they threw in some unfinished areas and repeat bosses under the pretense of it being a secret to pad out the game. I get it, we're using your old gimmicks and giving some decent endgame loot. But no. You come across Ordina Liturgical Town. Albinoric archers and a Black Knight assassin stand between you and a large glowing locked door at the peak of a mysterious staircase. Try after try, you struggle, but you eventually light all 4 torches throughout the town. You want to see what comes next. Why is there such a steep difficulty curve here? What are these Albinorics guarding and why? Just what's behind this damn door, and how did I even get here? Nobody told me to besides the old man in the pot I met 25 hours ago. What kind of rabbit hole is this? You light the final torch, break the seal, and the teleporter is now yours. Heal up, top off your magic, and enter. Miquella's Haligtree. How did it come to this? It's almost becoming a game inside of a game at this point. You stand upon a real tree, not glowing like the Erd tree, but similar in scale. You're at the top of the map now. How did you never see this? What is happening here? It's almost a serene type of horror. It's beautiful in every way, and though the sky is overcast, you could tell that when the sunlight kisses the moss and wood, that it could be glowing and thriving. You could almost feel the chill in the air here. A place almost lost with time, once beautiful, now merely a shadow of its former self. A haven, paradise, or a purgatory. The only way to find out is to scale the colossal branches and make your way to the heart of this dying arboreal behemoth. This entire journey so far has felt as a game in its own right, a hero's journey from your first steps out into Limgrave, only to eventually encounter one chance NPC who led you on a never-ending trudge through the toughest portion of Elden Ring's game. one death after another, meaningless at this point. You almost don't want to know what the tree's keeping hidden within. You end up crossing wooden bridges, finding new graces, and eventually, a boss fight. Loretta? Again? Well, she's not a ghost now, so it must be the true Loretta, maybe the keeper of the tree or something more, but no, she's still just as much of a pushover. There has to be even more. Oh, an elevator. It's always an elevator. And now comes my absolute favorite legacy dungeon and my favorite memory of my entire first playthrough. Elphael, Brace of the Haligtree. Beautiful in its own dying way. A place almost forgotten by history. Loyal soldiers peer out over the sea, gazing into the unknown land far in the distance that they know they'll never see. This is not a land touched by the grace of gold, though you'd be hard-pressed to believe it, the way the sunlight beams off every piece of steel and glass. The spires and bridges and tight rooftop corridors invoke Anor Londo. The sunset over the ocean almost invokes Majula, and the feeling of solace, despair, and beauty in the face of the end harkens everything you loved from Lothric. It's the culminating moment that ties all their work together. It's the real end of Elden Ring, the place you had no idea existed 80, 90, or 100 hours ago when you booted the game. You were once tricked into thinking Leyndell would be their opus, the final dungeon to top all their past works, but by now it's a mere footnote in your adventure. Elphael takes everything you thought you knew and throws it away. Where most story games and narratives have arbitrary good, bad, and true endings, Elden Ring does it in its own organic way. Elphael is the true ending, per se. It's where the game has been leading you all this time. It's where your journey is meant to end. It's proof enough by the fact that it has the highest damage scaling in the entire game. And what lies deep within the depths of the Haligtree, battling root and stem, making your way to its core, what do you find? You find her. The face of Elden Ring. Every trailer, commercial, marketing material has had her front and center for a reason, and it all clicks. It's Malenia, the Blade of Miquella, and she's never known defeat. It was staring you in the face since the game's announcement. Of course it's her. Fromsoftware's magnum opus, the hardest fight you'll face in the game, and the real final challenge for the Tarnished that you've been with for oh so long. It was all a trick. You fell right into their trap once again, and you played their game. They've been socially engineering you from the beginning. What you see is what you get, and all the set dressing is there to obfuscate and obscure the truth that's right before your eyes. And you made it. That feeling of victory after you finally land the killing blow on Malenia is a feat no other game has touched, and maybe never will. As I stated previously, I truly believe Fromsoftware almost want you to miss this content, because it helps rewire your normal gamer brain to think on their terms and not yours. When I say Elden Ring is a living and breathing world, I truly mean it. The variance of a first playthrough can be anywhere from 50 hours to 150 hours. Based on how long you really want to take exploring this vast world, anything could change. That is what an open world should be. It should be your choice how to tackle it, your choice on how to tell your own story. Which bosses you want to fight, which quests you want to take. These secret areas, big reveals, and hidden passages serve as a way to appreciate and immerse yourself in a world they've crafted for you. No quest markers, no guidance, no logs, and no pointers. Just you. They trust you. They have faith in you. Why else would they spend so much time leaving their best content obscured from view? They know you'll find it if you try your absolute best. And to get you in that mindset, they have to be challenging the way you think from the very start. This game has 238 bosses, and to beat it in roll credits, you need to kill 13 of them. 13 bosses. People use this number to disparage the game, call it all filler, and if you think literally, I guess it is, but you fill your tarnished shoes. You craft your narrative. You could do it all or do the bare minimum and anywhere in between. And without a doubt, you'll have just as an incredible experience as your peers. If you miss a hidden boss or maybe see it online, go back and find it. Elden Ring is the game with infinite replayability for this fact alone. And years later, the subversion of my expectations still baffles me and has influenced the way I see all new games I want to try. Nothing can compare, and that's why I still play Elden Ring to this day, and why you might want to go back and take on the Lands Between just one more time, because you never know what kind of journey awaits. And all of that is without even touching on the Lands of Shadow, which will be covered very soon. Thank you.